Good morning, class. Today we'll be seeing Unit 1. Okay, so Unit 1 is basically introduction of cybercrime. In this unit, you'll be going through the first question, which will do revision is what is cybercrime and how do you define it. And as we know that there are several definitions of cybercrime, so we'll go through few definitions of cybercrime which have been defined in the textbook. The first cybercrime committed using computer and internet to steal data or information. So, in basically, whenever we cybercrime, crime committed using a computer and internet to steal some data or information. Okay, and other alternative definition of cybercrime is any illegal act where a special knowledge of computer technology technology is essential for its preparation, investigation, or prosecution. Or the other definition is any traditional crime that is acquired a new dimension or of magnitude through the aid of computer and abuses that have common into being because of computers. Now, this basically any traditional crime happening, but happening with usage of computers. Okay, that is nothing but cybercrime. And the other definition is any financial dishonesty that takes place in computer environment. Basically, uh, trying to get uh, financial is basically amount of some victim dishonestly is nothing but also called as cybercrime. And the next definition is any threats to computers itself, such as theft of hardware, software, storage of, and demands for ransom. Okay, that is also called a cybercrime. And some more definitions are cybercrime or computer crime is an illegal behavior directed by means of electronic operations that target the security of computer system and the data processed by them. So these are the few definitions, okay, which we have seen what are cybercrime. Now after that, we'll go through the next question. How do we classify cybercrimes and explain them briefly? Now, how do we classify cybercrimes is basically in 5 types. The first one is cybercrime against an individual, then cybercrime against a property, cybercrime against an organization, cybercrime against a society, cybercrime against cyber crimes emanating from user net news groups. Okay, so these are the five cyber crimes. Okay, these are nothing but classification of cyber crimes in 5 areas. First one is for individual, second one is for property, next one is organization, fourth one is society, and the last one is user net news groups. Okay, now when we speak with respect to an individual, you can find these all attacks happening. Okay, we'll go everything in detail, but we'll just see what are the attacks for now. We'll go for every attack, we'll go in detail. First one is spoofing, second one is phishing, next is spamming, next is defamation, cyber stalking, stoppage, pornographic offenses, and password sniffing. Okay, those comes under for individual, whereas for cyber crimes again properties, you'll be having credit card frauds, intellectual property crimes, next is internet time theft. Again for organization, you have unauthorized accessing, password sniffing, DOS attack, virus attack, mail bombs, salami technique, logical bomb, torsion, data diddling, okay, spying, then computer network intrusions, software piracy. And for cyber crime against society, you have forgery, cyber terrorism, and web checking. So for each, we'll just go through once. Okay, so we'll start with email spoofing. Now, basically, when we say email spoofing is nothing but suppose you have two systems. Okay, that is system A, which is the sender, and system B, which is the receiver. Okay, now in spoofing, what happens is there is an attacker in between A and B, or there is an attacker available. So what it does is it sends a data from itself to B. It sends, the attacker sends the data from itself to B, but what it does is it disguise itself as A and sends the data to B. That is nothing but called as email spoofing, where here the sender doesn't even know that a mail has been sent or SMS has been sent to B through his name or through his IP address, which is used by an attacker. Okay, that is nothing but called as email spoofing. Next one is spamming. Now spamming is nothing but sending bulk of electronic spams, okay, or electronic messages or electronic emails to a victim. Okay, basically spamming is nothing but sending some bulk of messages either through mobiles or through mails or through Wikipedia or like some ads, okay, or some internet forum or some social networking spams. Sending n number of electronic messaging at a time is nothing but called as spamming. Okay, next is cyber defamation. Now cyber defamation is nothing but trying to basically trying cyber defamation is nothing but trying to defame someone, or nothing but trying or suppose, let me take the best examples is film star or politicians, okay, where the media what the media does is basically they try to defame them or give a false statement on some particular actor, right? That basically happens for film actors or a politician, that they try to give some statement on based on media gives based on them. Okay, that is nothing but basically called as cyber defamation. Okay, and there are types of defamations in it. One is libel, that is nothing but written defamation. Slander is nothing but this happens in between political issues. Oral defamation, and there are several cases. The first case happened in 14th December 2019. Okay, and the another case is posting. Another case is posted where the attacker, what he has done is he has posted some offensive images of a lady. Okay, such cases are nothing but called as defamation. Okay, or trying to harm a person's image in public. Next is internet time theft. So basically here what happens, what attacker does is it tries to attack or get the access of IP address, IDs, user ID and password of a particular victims. Okay, internet access of particular victims, and use his internet to perform his own operations. Okay, and use victims internet to perform his own actions. That is nothing but internet time theft. Okay, at the particular time where this particular victim is trying to access the internet, the attacker, what is this, at the same time he tries to access the internet. That is nothing but it tries to act has the victim and tries to access all the data. Next is Salmi effect. Okay, now this is one of the effect this one of the attack which actually is a financial crime. Okay, so your one best example is what like in bank, what happens, this was a case in some bank somewhere which is not shown though. Here what happens is a bank employee tries to insert a program into the back server which deducts a small amount for from every customer's account every month. Now when it is a small amount, no one notices, basically hardly like 5 rupees or 5 rupees or 10 rupees. Okay, or if you take $1 or $2, no one notices it. But for the same bank, if it is deducting for one customer, one it's not only for one customer, there are thousands of customers. From each customer, if you takes a little amount, it will become a big amount for that particular employee, right? So this is nothing but called as salami effect technique. That's what small shavings for big gains. Next is data diddling. Now what happens here is they try to steal the data. This happens basically in companies in accounting departments. Now data diddling is nothing but changing the input in a computer. Okay, so this is done with the help of a virus that is nothing but some malicious code where a person basically tries to enter something and some data in the system. Okay, and the data, all the data which is being entered based on the accounting financial information, it has been robbed by someone else, okay, or by the attacker, and that company has to pay, or the company has to pay for that attacker to get back all the financial informations. Next is forgery. So basically, no, what do you mean by forgery? Forgery is nothing but signing someone else. Okay, that is nothing but creating a duplicate sign, creating a duplicate note, create a duplicate revenue stamps, mark sheets. Okay, those are nothing but basically called as forgery. Now, webjacking is nothing but basically like a hijack. It is derived from that word hijacking. Only thing is that here what happens is the same thing happens through web. That's what it's called as web hijacking. Now what happens here is basically the attacker tries to attack a particular website and try to change its data and take over control of that particular website, where the actual victim doesn't even know, the owner of the particular website doesn't even know that it has been hacked. Okay, and one best example here is Goldfish, which we have already seen. Now what was a case of Goldfish was that here attackers attacked a school website actually. Okay, now what they have done is, and this school was for primary school. It was a primary school where these attackers attacked or webjacked the particular website of a school, and they have called the owner of that particular school and said and asked a ransom. Now the owner thought that it was just a joke because he was just a primary school principal. Why would someone want to hijack his website? So he didn't care much. But later he came to know that the attacker, what he has done is, instead of this goldfish, because goldfish is a friendly fish to a human. Okay, human normally at a house in aquarium, a goldfish is kept for playing. Okay, for playing, for feeding them and all. But what this attacker has done, instead of goldfish, he has kept a fish called, name has piranha. Piranha, I suppose piranha, where that piranha fish is a human eating fish. Okay, human flesh eating or flesh eating fish, human flesh eating fish. Okay, now just because of this, many students have met with an accident where they have brought that piranha fish and they have lost their parts of the body. Now, industrial espionage or industrial spying. This is basically the case where the industrial appoint few employees who can spy the other organizations or their competitor organizations. Next one is hacking. So hacking, we basically know trying to get into someone else computer or network is nothing but we called hacking, but through illegally. And what is the purpose? Basically for some greed or power or publicity or some range or just from some adventure. Okay, now what is the difference between hacking and cracking? We are saying hacking and cracking. Okay, so any malicious attacks on computer network is basically called as cracking. Okay, while hacking truly applies only to activities which are having good intentions. Now, when we say cracking, cracking is nothing but an attacker or a black hat. Okay, black hat, that is nothing but criminal hackers try to destroy or try to steal some data from that particular victim, whereas hacking is nothing but done by white hat people, where these people are nothing but ethical hackers. These are nothing but network security specialists who have been paid to test a particular company's software or security software. Next is pornography. This is nothing but the illegal videos, messages, picture which are very obscenes or obscene images. Okay, trying to defame some people, obscene images of in a few film actors or any people is nothing but basically called as pornographic offensive, and the maximum offensive is going now is child pornography. Next is software piracy, and we know basically software piracy basically means getting an illegal copy of something. Okay, getting an illegal copy, getting a illegal downloads. Okay, so that we can see in free, or since they are very much fast, people are downloading them. That is not what called as software piracy. Next is computer stoppage. Okay, now basically computer stoppage is nothing but here attacker has basically the intention to disable the computers or to destroy or disrupt the computers or the networks. Okay, so the basic purpose of the attackers are disruption, either be let it be commerce, education or recreation for their personal gain. Okay, and what they do this is through virus, worms and logical bombs. Okay, and next, email bombing. Bombing is nothing but sending n number of emails. Okay, that is nothing but sending huge volumes of email to an address. Okay, which is an attempt to basically overflow the mailbox. Okay, or the server. Okay, where the email address is hosted in denial of service attack. So what happens, email bombing is nothing but it's mostly similar to denial of service attack. Now in denial of service attack, what happens, the attacker what it does is it sends n number of packets to a network or to the victim if he doesn't wants to that doesn't want that particular server to work. Okay, or either get crushed. So email bombing is same. Next is password sniffing. Password sniffing is nothing but, sniffers is basically nothing but trying to monitor and record. Okay, trying to monitor the data. Okay, which the victim is typing and to record them. Now, basically, then what is password sniffing? Password sniffing is nothing but monitoring. Monitoring and recording the name and password of the network users they log in. Okay, to a particular site or whenever they're using a network. That is nothing but called as password sniffing. And credit card fraud is basically, this fraud is was a wide ranging term. Okay, for theft and fraud committed by committed and basically it is done on credit cards, debit cards. Okay, and the main goal of them is to obtain unauthorized amounts from the particular account. And next, we have already gone through what is identity theft. Okay, the next question is what is cybercrime in Indian perspective. Now, cybercrime in Indian perspective, as we know, India is the fourth highest number of internet users in the world. Okay, where 45 million users of internet users are there. Users are there in India, in which 37% are used through cyber caves, and 57%, in which 57% are between 18 and 35 years. Okay, and because of that, government of India has developed an IT Act 2000, which specifies the punishment based on the crime happened. Okay, and these are the cases which have registered and which has been punished. Okay, next is global perspective cybercrime. We have seen Indian perspective cybercrime. There we have seen what is Indian is in the fourth position, and what are the different cybercrimes developed, and for what cybercrime what punishment is given. Now we'll see the cybercrimes based on global perspective. So the first cybercrime, the first basically the a particular treaty law has been a salitude and the treaty law both refer to cybercrime. In Australia, Australia was the first one which created a strategy which is used for cybercrime in Act 2001. Okay, which details all these computer data and the systems. That is nothing but it has detailed each and every punishments based on the cybercrime happening. Okay, after that about 30 companies have come together. Okay, come together to a forum where they have created a anti-spam legislation. Okay, and these are nothing but the technical solutions for ISPs and end users. However, in spite of this, there was more spammers, more spams been sending to hundreds and millions of messages per day. So what happened is, after this, there was one more group created, that is ICTS. Okay, in global level. After that, there have been many improvements in the cyber crimes and their punishments. Okay, after that they have a number of significant developments in such area. In August 2006 announcement, the US Senate ratified COE, Convention of Cybercrime. Means these are the different groups which have been which has been created to control the cybercrime. Okay, how they can help to control the cybercrime. Okay, so in 2006 one more ISP group was created. Again, next is Cybercrime Convention, which was created in 1997, 2001. Like this, many organizations were created so that they can join their hands together to control the cybercrime. Okay. Next question is, what is cybercrime and what are the extended enterprises related to it? Now, first, before going to extended enterprise, we'll go to an organization, because extended enterprise is related to an organization. So what is an organization basically? Okay, or what is a core competencies in organization? Now whenever we say core competencies, okay, I want all to listen this first. Core competencies, it basically refers to the area of special technical, unique and production expertise, whereas distinctive capabilities describes excellent in board businesses processes. Now, this definition basically means, suppose I'll take this example of iPhone. Okay, I've taken this example of iPhone, where let me take this example of iPhone and explain you what is core competency of iPhone. Now, we have known that iPhone has its own speciality, right? It has its own brand. Let it be iPhone, let it be Coke. iPhone has its own uniqueness. Okay, because of which this particular brand has its own image in the business field. Whenever we say iPhone, it has its own software, it has its own blueprint of developing the mobile, it has its own uniqueness for the images it which is taken. That's what the cost of iPhone is more than the normal thing, normal normal phones available, right? Though the similar type of iPhone is copied in Samsung, but still iPhone is iPhone. It is very much legal, very much authentic. It has its uniqueness. That what which because of which it gets sells its business. Okay, because of which its business is more in the market. Okay, now each organization has its uniqueness. Just like iPhone, each organization has its uniqueness through which it does its business. That is nothing but called as core competency. And what are the characteristics of core competencies is basically unique characteristics and which is difficult to copy. So basically, we have iPhone, which built in everything is very much difficult to copy, and just why? Because it has its blueprint which is not leaked up. And one more best example is Honda also. Honda creates car parts so specially. Let it be car, let it be your car engines, okay, which is developed by Honda. It is very much famous for developing those, and it is having its unique core competency. That's what it's all the machines, all the parts of a Honda are sold at a high rate. Okay, and that cannot be developed by other organization because they have their own secret of developing. Okay, that is nothing but core competency of Honda company. Okay, which is nothing but which is used to sell that business. Okay, now with that, whenever we say core competencies, with that we have 4 different areas. That is nothing but virtual integration, where virtual integration is nothing but connecting a customer to an employee or to an organization with help of internet. Then next is strategies, alliances. Now what are the strategies they are developing to sell their competencies? Next is computer partnership. Okay, that is nothing but customer partnership. That is nothing but a customer should know what things he need and what he is getting actually from the organization. Next is outsourcing. Outsourcing from an organization basically is giving some work to a third party, and this all together is nothing but called as extended enterprise. Okay, so this is nothing but extended enterprise. With this, we have done with your first unit revision. That's all for today. Thank you.